Okay, so I promised an Easter bunny and egg part two to explain the eggs and the bunny connection to Easter. So I did a little bit more research and found that the eggs are actually more, I guess, more connected than the bunny. But let me start at the beginning. So Easter eggs and the Easter bunny are from a pagan god of fertility called Eastro or something like that, right? Very close to Easter. Um, so the symbols for this fertility god or goddess were eggs and bunnies. So after the whole crucifixion and biblical or religious sacrifice that happened with Jesus. And if you don't know, in Christianity, Jesus was killed or crucified and hung up on a cross. And then he was laid in a tomb. And after 3 days, it is believed that he awoke from the dead. And so Christians celebrate the resurrection or the rebirth of Jesus Christ through a season called Easter. And this coincides with a period that the pagans used to celebrate fertility and fertility and I guess rebirth and life and that kind of stuff, which was done using dyed eggs. And so for Easter, the religious celebration, I guess, took some of the pagan rituals and made it their own. And so they would dye eggs red to symbolize the blood of Jesus. And during the 40-day period before the actual celebration of Easter, Christians would not eat eggs. And so they would save the eggs, dye them red, and then by Easter morning, they would then eat them. Because the 40-day period preceding Easter for Christians is called Lent. It's a period where people give up things, they sacrifice things. Some people don't eat meat, some, I guess, don't eat eggs, some don't have sex, some may not give in to certain desires. Whatever the desire is, it's a sacrifice. You make a sacrifice during Lent as I guess, a symbol that I don't know, that you are in I don't know, a sacrifice for a sacrifice, because I guess Jesus sacrificed himself for Christians or for the world, and so they give up something in solidarity of that. And the bunnies were a part of the pagan holiday for fertility and rebirth. And that came over as well because, as you know, they say bunnies have a lot of sex and have a lot of babies or offsprings. And so that is an apt symbol for fertility. And so that just came over with the pagan holiday into the Christian holiday. And so the things just merged. And what I get from all of this is that when certain things happen, so the crucifixion and all of that, that's Easter, when that happened, the persons who were celebrating the fertility god and whatnot before, they didn't say, oh my God, we're gonna stop celebrating how we celebrate. They're like, oh, we're gonna still celebrate how we celebrate with these eggs, with this bunny, but we're gonna change the meaning behind it. And so everybody could still celebrate Easter or spring or fertility and rebirth. And it's all okay because we're using the same symbols, we're using the same ideologies, we're using the same festivities. We're celebrating together as a people. We're not saying Christians over here, heathens over there, others over there. It's everything. Like, we're all having a big festival. We're all eating red eggs. Nowadays, we paint them to be much prettier. We're in pastel colors, and we have candy eggs and whatnot. But we all do it. And in some cultures, there's a different thing that's used to celebrate Easter. But everybody knows of the Easter egg and Easter bunny. And so I think this is a great example of inclusion. And to show that, back in the day, there were lots of religious wars and people did lots of evil things. But in some aspects, there was a lot of inclusion. So when Christianity started, they took things from the other ideologies, took things from before and merged them. So people didn't have to have a brand new way of life. They just had to reimagine what their symbols meant, what life meant, etc. And I think that's pretty cool. That's a nice lesson on inclusion from the Bible or from Christianity.